All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to talk to customers, okay? It's very, very, very important that you are always very cordial, always very positive, always understanding that it's really not the customer's fault. It's for the most part our fault. Okay, when things occur, even if it isn't our fault, it's our fault. Okay, in the long run, no matter what happens, we are all if we have that kind of picture in our mind, we're always going to have a business that's thriving. Okay, so. When you get messages, you're going to actually see them come up in your email, and you're going to log into your Seller Central account, and you should see over here a thing. It'll say buyer messages, or it might be an A to Z guarantee claim or a chargeback claim, things like that. But generally, you're going to see it in buyer messages. Okay, so we click into buyer messages, and here you're going to have different types of inquiries. We have this particular inquiry for a received damaged or defective item. Really, all you're going to do is you're going to click the actual inquiry. So in this particular case, it was for a defective item, and generally it's going to be nice. Okay, it says, hey, one of um, one of the parts is defective where one of the welded spots is blocking my ability to put it together. I have pictures to show it. Is one of the white bottle pieces, T-shaped. You're going to see that generally it's good. It's generally they want to have something replaced, or they just want to have a resolution for their problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you my sent messages back. Okay, in this particular instance. I always thank them, okay? I always thank them first. And I say, so here, if we say, RE said, hey, thanks for letting me know. Let me contact the manufacturer and get it replaced ASAP. So when a customer has, say, a defective item or something like that, we always want to let them know that we're going to handle it. Okay, that's the very first thing. Want to let them know. So that's why I say thanks for letting me know. Let me contact the manufacturer and get it replaced ASAP. Okay. Okay. Now generally, it's a rule that if it's a defective item, that the vendor is going to want to have pictures of the defective item if they're going to have like a replacement part being sent. Okay, so always check with the particular vendor. You can log into their wholesale dealer account, or you can actually call them up or email them, and just get their refund or return or damaged goods policy, and then we can just put that into a reference that we can always reference, and then we can always reference that later. But generally, they're going to want to have pictures. All right, so that's when I say, hey, can you send the pictures in case they need them to know the exact piece? And I said, I'm contacting them now. Okay, so that being said, they're getting contacted. They're being contacted, and so I don't have to. They don't have to worry that they're not being helped. I can then go and email the actual vendor. So you go and email the vendor, letting them know what's up, and we can get this kind of process started. So what'll generally happen next is the vendor will ask for pictures. And since the customer is already giving them to you, you can email those pictures to the vendor. Now, you always want to use this message center, okay? This is do everything through Amazon for two reasons. One, Amazon wants you to, and then two, because it gives us a trail to see where the conversation was. And if we need to take it up with Seller Central, maybe the customer is being extremely rude, and we're trying our best to do whatever, we actually have some kind of trail to see what's going on and what went wrong and everything like that. So the vendor will then ask for the pictures. You give the vendor the pictures, and then the vendor will send a part out. Now, if it's a return, it's a little bit different. Okay, so if it's a return, I'm actually gonna, I'll bring up an item shows a return. But if it's a return, it's a little bit different. But you still want to say, hey, thanks for letting me know, or hey, thank you for the email, or thanks for the message. Let me get the process started for you, and we'll get your stuff returned ASAP. Okay. So I'm going to show you one that I did. Hold on one second. Okay. So so return requests are a little bit different. If you go to Amazon Seller Central, there's a section that says Manage Returns. You'll see it in there. Um, I'm going to filter this by all because I don't really have too many returns. So this return was actually authorized 44 days ago. And this one was one that I actually saved. So when you're really nice to people, generally you will be able to save some of these returns. But this one I actually did, I authorized it a while ago, okay? Basically what's going to happen is you will thank them for the message. You'll contact the vendor, okay? And you'll let them know that they want to return these items. The vendor will then ask for pictures, or if it's just, hey, we want a refund, that's fine. The vendor will then say, okay, well, here, let me give you an RMA number. Let's call it's a number that they can use to track an actual return, okay? So what will happen is um, you'll see something like this. It'll actually have a thing, it'll have four things. It'll say authorize, it'll say a couple of different things, and then you can issue a refund, you can contact buyer. Okay. Um, in the authorization part of it, you're going to see something like this, and you can actually see what I did right here. It says, hey Cheryl, thanks for letting us know about the return. Once you return the dumbbells to the address on the label and we receive the item, we will issue a full refund. Let us know if you need anything at all. She actually ended up responding saying, hey, actually, you know what, I do want to keep these things. Okay. Um, the in here, you can say, I want Amazon to generate a return merchandise authorization number, or you can say, I want to provide a return merchandise authorization number. This is where you're going to put in that return merchandise authorization number that you get from the vendor, okay? So it's going to have that, and then it's going to generally, you're going to have two options for a return mailing label, okay? This is dependent on the vendor. Some vendors will pay for shipping back. Some vendors will not. Most vendors will, some vendors will not. If they don't, okay, if they don't, um, we generally will pay for shipping, okay? We will generally pay for shipping. So I usually do okay, let's do it two ways. The first is if the vendor is going to pay for shipping, you say, I will provide a prepaid mailing label for this request. Okay, so you go here and you can upload the label. Okay, yeah, the vendor will give it to you. Okay, um, the shipping carrier you use, it might be UPS, it might be whatever. Put in the tracking ID that comes with the label, the prepaid one. And then here, the return label cost um, is what it actually, what the cost of the label is, okay? Now, generally, what I like to do is I would like Amazon to provide an unpaid mailing label. And what I'll do is I will tell the customer to tell me if the vendor will not pay for shipping. I will have the customer tell me how much the shipping cost, the return shipping cost is going to be, okay? So that when I issue a refund, I can actually issue the shipping cost back, okay? So I would save this, but I'm going to actually cancel this. So say they do all that of what we said. We can actually go over here and say issue refund, okay? And here, I'm actually not going to issue the refund. You can do, so there's full refund right here, a tab for full refund and a tab for partial refund, okay? And it's all dependent on what we're going to do. Generally, like I said, I do not like the customer paying for shipping, okay, because it will ruin our feedback. Sometimes, maybe, but generally, I want to be the customer be as happy as possible, and that even if that means I lose 20 bucks, who cares, okay? In the long run, it means I'm going to get better feedback, which means that us as a company is going to get better spots in our listings if we're up against any competition, okay? So full refund and partial refund. Okay, so say we were doing a partial refund, we can actually do this return shipping concession and say return shipping was 20 bucks. We can do, oh sorry, this one would actually be 10 in this particular case because I think the weight, it goes by the weight of the thing. Okay, you can also do other concessions. If say the shipping for some reason was more, we could actually put more here. Okay, so say it was $13, we can do return shipping is 10, and then other concessions 13. Okay. All right. So, and then you'll see the actual refund right here, and then we can submit for refund. I don't want to touch that because I don't need to do that on this particular one. Okay. I actually don't know how to cancel that refund authorization thing, so I just leave it the way it is. But it makes for a good demo. Okay. So generally that's it. It's not hard. It's not rocket surgery. Makes it super easy. It's very easy. The big thing that we want to see, here's the RMA number. The big thing we want to know is that big thing we want to do is always make the customer happy. Never want it to be where they say that this vendor sucks and they give us a 1 star. We want them to always be happy, even if they're returning something. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask. See ya.